Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. Dr. Samia Hassan arrives in Ethiopia to attend the 39th Key African Union Summit. Prime Minister reaffirms Tanzania's 30% cut in cancer death target by 2030. Good evening, I am Caroline Maleo. You can also follow us live on our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Hassan, has arrived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to attend the 39th African Union Heads of State and Government Summit, scheduled for February 14th to 15th. Esther Deus has more details.
Presidential Communication Bakari Machumu earlier today explains that ahead of the main summit, President Samia is expected to participate in the Committee of African Heads of State and Government on Climate Change meeting, which will be hosted by Kenya's President William Ruto. Later that same day, Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali will host a state banquet. President Samia is also expected to hold bilateral talks with several leaders, including Eswatini Prime Minister Rossel Dramini, Comoros President Azali Assoumani, UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohamed, and African Development Bank President Dr. Sidi Ould Taha, aiming at strengthening political, economic, and development cooperation. Prior to the 39th AU Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the 48th Ordinary Session of the Executive Council of the African Union ended today at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with a strong call for collective action to address the continent's pressing challenges.
The Tanzanian Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, emphasizes that Africa cannot effectively fight cancer in isolation, urging collective regional efforts to address the continent's growing crisis. He insists on the need for regional and continental cooperation in research, training, exchange of experts, resources, technology, and experience. Here are more details.
The Prime Minister made the call today while representing President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan during the 30th anniversary of Ocean Road Cancer Institute held at Julius Nyerere International Conference Center in Dar es Salaam.
We believe that Africa cannot win the fight against cancer if each country fights on its own. Therefore, to achieve our goals, we need regional and continental cooperation in research, training, and the exchange of experts, as well as the sharing of resources, technology, and experience. It is clear that this will be advanced through today's conference.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister has instructed the Minister of Health to develop a comprehensive strategy aimed at reducing new cancer cases in Tanzania so as to reduce the impact of human resources, the economy, and the welfare of the nation in general. On the other hand, the Minister of Health, Mohamed Mchengera, says that the phase government led by President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan recognizes that health is not just a service, but also a right. Hence, the fight against cancer is a national agenda.
Her leadership reminds us of the fundamental truth that a nation that prioritizes the health of its people builds economic strength and enhances its national standing. During the sixth phase government under the Honorable Prime Minister, we have witnessed deliberate momentum that continues to transform the landscape of cancer diagnosis and the treatment services in the country. This is not merely an investment in buildings.
Tanzania has emphasized that it will continue to be a center of excellence for regional cooperation across Africa, and that 18.5 billion shillings have been allocated for the establishment of PET CT scan services and a cyclotron machine which diagnose and treat cancer.
The Tanzania Information and Communication Technologies Commission has officially launched the ICT startup labeling system as part of a broader push to formalize and accelerate the country's digital economy. Speaking to journalists earlier today, the Director General of the Commission, Dr. Nkundwe Mwasaga, said that the step intends to address various challenges that many startup companies in the country face after being registered. To discuss the step, its impact and the procedures, I am joined live in the studio with the Director General of the Tanzania's ICT Commission, Dr. Nkundwe Mwasaga. You're mostly welcome to TBC News tonight, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me.
Doctor, directly, let's start the discussion. Why should the startup companies ensure that they acquire the startup labeling in the first place? And what benefits come up with the labeling?
There are a number of benefits that startup they get by joining this system of labeling that we have launched today. Some of the benefits are going to be enjoyed locally here and internationally. This system is adding a layer of trust where now startup they will be able to interact with different actors that will help them to grow their business and things of that sort. And they will enjoy things like, for example, getting an international investors. They will be able to have a verifiable method of knowing what type of startup they're engaging with. And if because they'll get certificate out of that, they can show it anywhere around the world, and that certificate can be easily being verifiable. It's going to help us as government to know what type of program we need to structure for different type of startups that are going to join these systems. Okay. Because this system has a three level of where a startup can join.
Thank you for that explanation. And Doctor, what specific measurable criteria now will define actually an ICT startup? And is it the revenue, the technology, the age, the time span? What is it that actually defines?
All those three are key points that we need to consider when we want to put in a correct label of any startup. But in actual fact, we are capturing all the three stages of growth of startup, from the ideation of where they are creating a product, to the growth areas, and to the exit level. Because the difference between a startup and enterprise, it is startup is created so that someone can grow a startup, can sell shares, and can exit. The enterprise, in another way, are a company that someone starts so that maybe can put in inheritance to relatives and things of that sort. So startup normally it has to grow, and then by growing, one can sell shares and can decide even to exit out of the company. And this is something that we are promoting as ICT Commission.
And Doctor, what steps now should one with a startup company take to secure the labeling system?
Well, the procedures are very simple, because first of all, we have not put any barrier of payment or anything, because we want the whole process to be very inclusive. So if anyone has a startup and it has an innovation, then they can come to our website, because everything we have digitalized. The process can be accessed anywhere in Tanzania. Follow the steps. We have three levels of labeling, where we have a silver, we have a gold, and Tanzanite. So startup there for a different level. They can join any level that they see that they can fit. And then there is a due process that we are going to do to ensure that we place a startup to a correct category. But we understand category of a startup is not permanent. It can start as a silver, and then it can grow to be a gold. And those are the things that we are planning to work with them to ensure that we have startups that they are following the standards of the world.
And Doctor, if you have put such conducive environment for the people to either take gold, silver, or Tanzanite, as you have explained,
right.
How will you verify now that the startup is really truly innovative and is not just a reseller? What data sources will you use?
That's a very good question. Startups are there because we want to foster innovation in our nation, because innovation is going to solve two challenges that we are normally looking and we want to address. One is to create job, and another one to ensure that ICTs contribute substantially to the GDP of our country. So we have a due process of experts who are going to look at all the submissions and to ensure that all the submissions are verifiable and we can place a startup to the correct category that they deserve.
Could there be a case that startup companies wrongly labeled? If that happens, what are you going to do? What do you do?
Because we have a level of mitigation measure to ensure that that thing will not happen. We don't have one team that is looking at how startup they are categorized, but we have a number of teams to ensure that the mistakes are not there. Because we do understand once you make a mistake, it can be it can have dire consequences, because investors, they'll be investing their money, so they need to be sure that the company that they're investing on is in the correct stage of the growth of startup. As I've said before, there are startups that they're in an ideation stage where they have a product, it has not been tested. There's a growth stage where they have an innovation, but they want to build it as a business. And then the Tanzanite is ready for the world. That is, a startup can be able to acquire anywhere in the world the financing or things that will help them to exit.
And Dr. Nkundo, how will this whole process now lead towards enhancing the country's development vision, DIRA 2050?
DIRA 2050 has articulated clearly that digital transformation is a driver for the DIRA. So we do understand that for us to be competitive, we need to have as many small companies as possible, and then we can have this big company over there. So one thing that we do understand, this will enable first for youth to be able to create their company, and then to be able to be sure that they can follow the progressive path which is needed to build our country. Because we do want the digital transformation to make our economy very competitive, not only regionally, but in Africa as a continent and in the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nkundo, for all the explanations that you have provided. That was Dr. Nkundo Musaga, the Director General of the Tanzania's ICT Commission. On to the next story. The Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Musa Azan Zungu, has met and held high-level talks with the President of the Republic of Serbia, His Excellency Alexander Vučić. The talks focused on strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. Here are more details.
Took place today at the Presidential Palace in Belgrade during an official working visit by the Tanzanian Speaker. Discussions focused on enhancing cooperation between Tanzania and Serbia, particularly in the area of trade and investment, as both countries seek to expand economic opportunities and strengthen people-to-people ties. The two leaders also have emphasized the importance of parliamentary diplomacy, highlighting the role of parliaments in promoting mutual understanding and supporting government-to-government relations. The visit underscores Tanzania's commitment to strengthening international partnership and promoting economic diplomacy through parliamentary engagement.
The Chief of Staff of the Tanzania People's Defense Force, Lieutenant General Salum Othman, says lasting peace cannot be achieved without a meaningful participation of women in peacekeeping operations. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam while officiating the signing of a memorandum of understanding He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam while officiating the signing of a memorandum of understanding for the LC Initiatives Fund's Barrier Assessment Project, which aims to measure opportunities and challenges facing women in peace operations. I attended the ceremony earlier and prepared the following report. The signing ceremony marked the launch of a national assessment project led by the Ministry of Defense and National Service through the Tanzania People's Defense Force in partnership with UN Women Tanzania, the National Bureau of Statistics, and the University of Dar es Salaam, with an aim to strengthen efforts to accelerate women's participation in peace missions. Speaking at the event, Lieutenant General Salum Haji Othman highlighted the importance of the partnership in promoting inclusive peacekeeping, while the commandant of the Tanzanian Peacekeeping Training Center, Brigadier General George Tangare, outlines the key stages of the project.
On behalf of General Jacob John Mkunda, the Chief of Defense Forces, I feel greatly honored and privileged to grace the signing ceremony of all the legal instruments which will be indeed set a legal framework for our important project, which will play a key role toward enhancing meaningful participation of uniformed women in peace operations. At this point, I would like to extend our deepest appreciations to the Secretariat of LCA Initiative Fund for accepting our request to be part of the member states to participate in the third round of proposal for the LCA Initiative Fund, announced in 2023. We highly appreciate a significant role being played by the Secretariat of LCA Initiative Fund in achieving meaningful deployment of women in the UN peace support operations and underlining the importance of gender-responsive missions while building confidence within the affected communities.
The project will be conducted in five phases. Currently, we are at the preparatory stage. We have just concluded the DCAF training, and which will be followed by a number of activities. So the next stage, which is the second one, will be the data collection. Once the report is actually, the initial report is out, it will be subject to validation, which forms the fourth stage of the project. At this point, we expect the initial report to be submitted to at several levels, including senior officials, senior leadership of Tanzania People Defense Forces, just to confirm the data and also whatever has been the outcome of the survey.
The Statistician General of the National Bureau of Statistics, Dr. Amina Msengwa, emphasizes that the study will strengthen data systems within peace and security institutions, while the Deputy Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at the University of Dar es Salaam, Professor Rose Akenupor, praises the collaboration and reaffirmed the university's commitment to high research standards.
NBS remains committed to innovating and strengthening data initiatives, including this one, that will respond to evolving national needs while upholding the highest standards of statistics under professional and confidentiality manner. We still have a data gap, and especially in these areas of peace and security. For us, NBS, we are taking it as a very critical moment and is an eye-opener to explore more opportunities to make sure that we can deliver and make sure that we can integrate security sector and gender-sensitive data into official statistics.
Great pleasure to celebrate this important partnership between UN Women and the Tanzania People's Defense Forces in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics and University of Dar es Salaam. With this important moment, this launch and the signing of the agreement for the measuring opportunities for women in peacekeeping operations barrier assessment in Tanzania. I want to take the opportunity on behalf of UN Women to commend the outstanding leadership of the Ministry of Defense and National Service, as well as the Tanzania People's Defense Forces, in advancing the Women, Peace and Security agenda. And with that, I want to acknowledge in August 2025, the launch of the first ever Tanzania National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security, which was done and launched here at TPTC. And it's an important achievement and one that lays groundwork for more progress across the agenda. And this event here today is an important example of these efforts.
The assessment is expected to produce a nationally owned and technically sound report, identifying key opportunities and barriers to increasing women's participation in peacekeeping operations. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Caroline Maleo, TBC News. The High Commission of India to Tanzania, in association with the Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim Center for Foreign Relations, has inaugurated the India Corner, a special knowledge hub aimed at promoting deeper understanding between the two nations. The initiative, themed Discover India, Knowledge, Culture and Heritage, features a rich collective of books, recovering India's economy, history, culture, art, sports, and other key sectors.
By opening this India Book Corner today, we are celebrating that shared history and bringing part of that learning and connection into his home institution. Today, when we talk about international relations, we often focus on trade, security, and big government agreements. But the strongest partnerships are built on something deeper: knowledge, respect, and understanding. That is why this book corner is not just a set of books. It is meant to be a knowledge bridge between India and Tanzania. These books will help students learn more about India, our history, our society, and our ideas. You will find materials on India's foreign policy, including how India moved from its non-aligned roots to its modern role as a strong partner and a voice for Global South.
The India Corner is expected to serve as an important resource for students, researchers, and diplomats, providing access to information that highlights India's development journey and its global partnerships.
Our digital development and our rich traditions in philosophy, literature, and culture. I hope these resources help you understand India as a friend and a partner that truly wants to see Tanzania succeed. This book corner is being launched at a very important time. Our relationship is growing fast. Since we raised our ties to a strategic partnership, we have seen many new developments. One major example is the Indian Institute of Technology Madras campus in Zanzibar. We have also increased cooperation in areas like maritime matters and defense. There are important steps, but this partnership to last, it must be supported not only by leaders today, but also by students and young professionals like you.
The partnership between the High Commission and the Center for Foreign Relations marks another step in advancing people-to-people connections and reinforcing bilateral relations between the two countries. And on to the next story. The ambassador of Mozambique to Tanzania, Ricardo Mtumbwida, has visited Zahir Restaurant, a historic site that was a frequent meeting place for liberation movement leaders and freedom fighters from Southern Africa, including those from Mozambique's Frelimo during the liberation struggle. During the visit, the ambassador commended the restaurant's management for their efforts in preserving the history and important memories of Africa's liberation movements.
Thank you very much for preserving this place. It has remained intact since the 1970s. You were not even born at that time, yet as a young person you have taken up this history and are preserving it. We will work on your request to conceal the memory of this place. I'm confident that your request will be well received by the President and our other stakeholders.
On the other hand, the administrative manager of Zahir Restaurant, Zainab Hassan, calls for specialized government strategy to preserve the establishment as a key site of the cultural heritage site.
Memorial, we respectively ask Your Excellency the Ambassador to assist us so that this place where Samora Machel and others once stayed during the struggle for liberation of the Southern Africa can be officially recognized as a historical heritage site for future generations. We kindly request your support in promoting it through the media so that the public can understand the importance of this historic site and the role it played in the liberation of the Southern Africa.
Of the prominent liberation movement leaders once sat at the restaurant include the late Nelson Mandela of South Africa, Samora Machel of Mozambique, and Eduardo dos Santos of Angola. Small and medium-scale enterprises in East Africa has been urged to ensure quality products production with international standards that will compete in international markets. Speaking in Dar es Salaam, quality experts from East Africa insist of value addition, moving from exporting raw commodities to processed high-value goods, particularly sectors like leather, avocado, coffee, and spices.
The good quality attract good clients, and you'll be able to enter new market. Today's initiative kind of complements many
EU-supported initiatives that we have been implementing in the region, in Tanzania. For instance, in Tanzania, I can say that we have been supporting the TBS, the Tanzania Bureau of Standards, to work on helping the standard in Tanzania. We have been supplying TBS with a lot of equipment for testing, ensuring that the quality is there.
Commend all partners for their continued cooperation and encourage all of us as participants to engage openly, share practical insights, and contribute to strengthening a sustainable culture of quality commitment.
Also, we have another component regarding the access to finance. We are helping entrepreneurs to access finance. And under this finance component, there are two issues. Number one is the ability of entrepreneurs to be able to manage finance. This is one of the very big challenges. So we build their capacity to be able to manage their finances. But managing finance.
Sports news up next. And in sports news, former football legend and current president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, has arrived in the country today at the Julius Nyerere International Airport in Dar es Salaam. Eto'o is among the members of the Executive Committee of the Confederation of the African Football, who will participate in the CAF Executive Meeting to be held tomorrow in Dar es Salaam. His arrival, together with other top football leaders in Africa, continues to give Tanzania great honor as the host of this important international meeting. And that is sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's now take a look at the weather focus for the next 24 hours.
Hello, dear viewer. Welcome again to the next 24 hours forecast, starting tonight at 9 p.m. I'm Ramadan Omari from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over some areas of our country, especially over the western part of our country, central toward southern part. And tonight, areas over the southwestern highland, southern part of Morogoro region, Rovuma and Mtwara regions are expected to feature particular condition, rain showers over few areas. And the remaining regions are expected to feature particular condition. And tomorrow, areas along Lake Victoria Basin, western part of our country, central, south, western highland, southern part of Morogoro region, Rovuma, Lindi, and Mtwara regions are expected to feature particular condition, thunder showers over few areas and sun period. Over the northeastern highland and northern coast, including northern part of Morogoro region, we're expecting to feature particular condition and sun periods. In terms of wind patterns, we're expecting wind to flow at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour, especially over the coastal areas. And the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. Over Lake Victoria, Tanganyika, Rukwa, and Lake Nyasa, wind speed is expected to reach 20 kilometers per hour. And the state of the lakes is expected to be slight. And now, let's have a look on the next 4 days forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, we're expecting particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. Over Dodoma, we're expecting to feature particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. Over Mbeya, also, we're expecting to feature particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. In Mwanza region, we're expecting particular condition and thunder showers over few areas. Over Kilimanjaro, we're expecting to feature particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. Over Morogoro, we're expecting to feature particular condition, thunder showers over few areas. Over Arusha, we're expecting to feature particular condition and thunder showers over few areas. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Caroline Mileo, wishing you a wonderful night indeed.
na uhakika.